Okay then, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we're gonna create this basic game that we have here. I wanted to just show a quick preview what we're gonna have done, and it's probably gonna take this episode and next episode by the time we have this fully functioning scene here. And with that out of the way, as you saw, we had some basics done, such as having an actual score count, timer, and playable AI and playable player. So with that out of the way, let's go in. The first thing we're going to want to do is select here this player, open up this in the editor, and save scene as, and we're going to rename this to AI player. I'm going to save this as AI player as well, and we're going to instance this now. Now we're only missing one scene from that small clip I showed you. So let's come in here and create a new scene. Select user interface. We'll rename this to UI. Let's save this as a UI scene. Let's add a color rect next. Full rectangle here. Come down here and then select something around this area. Something a little bit darker than what we have, but you can go and play around with the color if you want to have the exact value. I don't really care too much. Now let's get into the fun part and add in all the labels and have them all positioned correctly. So we're gonna set up the basics here. Center for these two. Text of 0, because we're gonna be using that for all the scores and the timers. And next, as you can see here, it doesn't look too great. So we're going to want to come to theme overrides here, come to fonts here, and we're going to want to create a new dynamic font. Click on edit here, click under fonts here, and we're going to load in a new font from the fonts folder and load up the Robotica Black from the Robotica folder. Now it looks already slightly better, but we're going to want to increase the size to 72 size font because we want it nice and big and easy to read. Now that we have that, we can rename this to left, don't do all caps, left score. And we're going to transform this to 256 and probably down like 50 units for now. If you guys don't like where it's positioned, you can move it anywhere you want. It's not really going to affect the game too much. And now that we have that done, we're going to duplicate this, rename it to right score, and we're going to just move this over to 1024 minus 256, so it's roughly same distance left and right. And next, let's duplicate once more. This one's just going to be called ball timer. And what we're going to want to do for this is we're going to move this to 512, probably bring it down to like 125 or something like that. And let's go down like 150. And for this one, actually, we're going to want to have it set on default to be hidden. So we click this eye icon to hide it. And last but not least, we're going to want a timer for this scene. Let's quickly come in here and instance this UI. But now, if we gotta just move this UI up here, and everything looks proper. I forgot when we instance this player, we forgot to move this over. So we're gonna want to take 1024 minus 32 and move it down to 256 and rotate it by 180. So if we click play right now, we should have the basic scene we had. The background's not the correct color, but it's close enough. So let's come in here. We're going to create our first script in UI here. We're going to come in here. We want to select the scripts folder and save it there. Now we're going to create some variables we're going to need for controlling the UI. We're going to take the left score and we're just going to name this one instead score left. 0. Next is score right equals 0. We're gonna need another variable, and this one's gonna be called ball time. This is just going to be how many seconds we got to wait for the ball to reset. And then we're going to create a signal called reset ball. Next, we're going to want to come in here, select timer, set the wait time to 30 seconds. Coming under here on this nodes here, we have some signals. We want to click on the timeout and select. It should auto select here because it's the only script, but select here and have the on timer timeout be created. Now, what we're going to do here is we're going to emit a signal, and we're going to put reset ball as the signal we want emitted. And we're also going to want to take ball timer and hide it. Yeah, because by that time the signal gets emitted, that means it's time for the game to resume, and we don't want to see the timer. We don't need this function, so we can delete that. What we're going to want to do next is add a connect function here, and we're going to, I believe we can scroll down here, find reset ball, add a comma. We're going to tell it to connect to its owner. And we're going to add a new function here that's going to be created in the node scene, the main scene. And we're going to call it ball reset. Okay, we have one last thing we're going to do before we go and create that function. We're going to come in here and create a score function that tells us who scored. So we're going to have a function here. It's going to tell us if goal is equal to left. That means the right side scored. So we're going to need to take score right and tell it to add 1 to the score. Or also, actually, let me put this outside here. We're going to tell the ball timer to show itself. Next, let's come in here, and what we're gonna do before we got sidetracked was tell us right score why is it not? Oh, I forgot, we need the $sign right score, and tell the text that's gonna be set to a string value. And we're going to input the score right that we had created. Next, we're going to just take this. Oh no, it's just being dumb. And tell this, now we're going to do an elif statement, tell it the goal that if it's on the right side that we get the notification from. We're going to tell the score left to increment by 1 and set this left score text to be equal to our score left. Okay, one last thing, I forgot to add one piece of script to make this function complete. We need to add here a reference to timer, and we need to tell it to start. With that, back to the video. We can come in here, create a script. We're going to want to change this to scripts folder, create. And the first thing we're going to do is we're going to take that value we copied over, the ball reset, and we're going to test to make sure it works and print hey. That should be everything. We're going to need this process function later, so we can uncomment that. But let's quickly do a quick test. And to do that, we're going to need to come in here and tell it to auto start. And we're going to play the scene, see if it's going to give us a message. Hey, yes, it gave us a message. That means we've done everything correct so far, and I think this is going to be it for the video. Let me quickly just go back in here. Make sure to turn this back off, the auto start. And let's go back in here. We're just going to, for now, put a pass here, if we left it blank, it's gonna give us indent block error. So you want to keep this pass message here for when there's no code. But with that out of the way, I think that's gonna be it for this video. We're gonna get to finishing up the script for the main class here and getting all these other 4 scenes attached with some scripts that will help us control the game.